Let's move on to the good stuff, investing and building in the tech that can move the needle and make the world better. And what could be bigger and better than quantum computing? This week was a proper quantum week. We had lots of European quantum action. We had the Quobly 150 million euro round. We had IQM SPAC. We also had the Quantinuum that IPO'd last week, earlier this month at a nearly 16 trillion. $60 billion valuation. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here with so many trillions being thrown around. And then, of course, we had the OQC raised at 260 million, which Callum led. Now, the real story is not just European IPOs and European quantum rounds, but really that quantum went to the capital markets in a big way. And things, they normally go public when they start to get some economic substance. And it seems like the sector has gone from always being 10 years away to actually being ticker symbols. Now, from what I know, OQC haven't shared too much about their revenue numbers yet. Callum, I mean, do you want to talk maybe a bit more about the deal, how you got to underwriting it, and what made the size of the round comfortable for you?
Yeah, and I think to your point, the private markets are slightly different to the public markets in quantum, it seems, and there seems to be a lot more capital that's willing to go into it at the moment. You mentioned with sort of Quantinuum and others, but with OQC, what we're seeing in quantum is we're now sort of past the first inflection point of the tech actually proving that it can be useful and work, and now we're moving into the commercial realm. So the thesis around OQC is that they're the first company that are really thinking about bringing quantum computers into co-located ring-fence data centers where enterprise users can actually start working with them. The superconducting architecture that they're built on, it solves some of the issues that it has for scaling, but I see that more as a wedge of getting into the places where these end users, be it governments, be it banks, want to start working with quantum computers and can work with it seamlessly, abstracting away the fact that you're working on quantum so that it feels like just any other accelerator that you may be working. So to the point about commercial revenues, yes, all of quantum is at the start of that, but it's very much coming in the next year, 2 years, as these systems get to a point where you can start to do useful calculations on them. So I think as part of that round, you saw the day or so after JP Morgan and AMD looking to build the first sort of financially focused AI quantum data center in London. And that just shows sort of the focus that OQC has on, they're thinking about cost per floor tile. They're thinking about how do we integrate it most effectively, most efficiently, in the quickest way so that you can keep the clock speeds with the GPUs. So that's what excites me most about them, is that they're thinking about how do we actually service end customers that aren't necessarily just quantum PhDs.
So what is going to be the first real application here? Why is OQC uniquely positioned to be the ones delivering that? And, how do you see the timeline? How far are we really away from something that can be used in production?
So I think quantum is going through sort of, I wouldn't say classic, but we're starting to see the early stages of an exponential function in development forming. You've had 3 papers come out this year, one from Q Control, another one of our portfolio companies, one from Google, and one from Iceberg Quantum, and then the Gidney paper last year. They've reduced the number of qubits required to crack RSA encryption by orders of magnitude. So not only are you seeing massive improvements in the hardware that's going on, you're also seeing massive improvements in the algorithms or software at the top. That means that they're going to meet at some point, timeline, say 2028, 29, push it out a little bit because everyone's over optimistic, 2031. And that's still within sort of the not too distant future. And what gets me excited is that RSA is kind of the only thing that the whole industry is focused on. We haven't yet had JP Morgan or Citibank or others fully focus on, okay, what can we build? How can we make a lot of these algorithms more efficient within the domains that they're interested in. So finance, so sort of pharmaceuticals for other groups. So I think you'll then start to see better algorithms and protocols come out in those industries as well as this hardware gets to the point it's going to be in sort of end of 27, early 28.
Okay, so you're sort of talking 18 months away. Is that?
I think you may see Quantinuum gets people so excited. And Andrew, I'm sure you can sort of mention about Universal Quantum and others in this group that are working on the ion trap side. They may show some more useful things earlier because they have some quirks about their qubits that make them a little bit more stable than others. We have actually, and sorry to big up my portfolio company the second time,
It's your
so
job.
just
It's your
released
job, Callum. Don't be shy.
paper on on quantum advantage. So they did quantum advantage in sensing last year. So that's being able to outperform a strategic inertial grade navigation system, so replacement to GPS. So that's something else from quantum sensing is a lot closer opportunity. But this year they had quantum advantage in actual computing. Now, whether that holds for more than 6 months that Google's initial quantum advantage held for will be wait to be seen, but so far it looks good. So we're at quantum advantage potentially this year or next year. So that is quantum computers solving problems that classical computers can't in faster times and with lower overhead. How long that takes to convert to commercial use cases, yeah, probably sort of 18 months, 2 years is what I would be optimistic on.
And when you think about underwriting that case, when you think about the amount of capital that's going in and the valuations, would you say, are they priced to perfection, or is it really sort of, yeah, we're all quite comfortable that the 18 months will work out? And if it ends up taking another 18 months after that, what does that do to the whole investment case?
Yeah, so let's not conflate private with public market. I wouldn't say you're necessarily getting public market valuations in the private markets because there is a lot more critique on what that revenue looks like, what the commercial trajectory looks like. So I think the valuation that we got in with OQC is a very sort of fair reflection of how advanced it is, but without sort of looking at those what are quite astounding public market valuations. So for us, I think we're underwriting that the real sort of value drivers for quantum, and this is why we could do these sort of investments early in the fund life cycle, are in the 2030s. The early 2030s is when we can be conservatively saying things will slip. So if you can raise a lot of capital now, then that can get you to the 2030s.
So it sounds like the quotient has really been reduced from 10 years to 5 years, but it's not tomorrow.
It's not yet. It's not tomorrow. But then I would say some of the technologies that quantum is pushing forward is tomorrow. So quantum sensing, so using effectively quantum systems to be able to detect the Earth's local magnetic field or gravitational field that you can then navigate by, that's now. That is, people are rolling out and testing it. So it's not like it's a singular block. Computing obviously gets a lot of the headlines because it has sort of crossover to AI and everyone can sort of see how amazing NVIDIA's done and they want to back the NVIDIA of quantum. But sensing is what's happening now, and it's a massive market that the world's geopolitics are making even more important. And that's before we then get into the exciting use cases that it has in brain imaging and other things.